Now, pitfall number 5. This is another big one. Payout flushing or blocking of commissionable volume. Okay, payout flushing or blocking of commissionable volume. In other words, does your compensation plan flush volume? And by the way, you might not see this because they won't write it on their comp plan breakdown for you. They won't tell you that they flush volume. You have to dig and ask and check the company's policy and procedures to find out if it actually flushes volume. Okay. While in GWT, again, the grass is greener, the air is fresher. We simply do not flush anything. So in other companies, you want to ask yourself, does it flush volume after you reach a certain payout? I've seen companies that once you cycle, for example, like $1,500 this week, the rest of the volume is flushed. To be frank, that sucks. Okay. GWT, we never flush volume even after your payout. So you can constantly be making your $500 team commission payouts. We never flush the remaining volume. Does your comp plan flush volume after a certain period? So, maybe after a year or so or a month, does it flush the volume? I think comp plans after 1 year, they completely flush all of your volume, which again, in my opinion, sucks. Because imagine Reza, who, for the first 3 years, he knew that the company was solid, but he wasn't ready yet, but he joined. The first 3 years, he just was, accumulating his monthly IA. He had about what, $8 million in sales volume on one side. Imagine if every year if he got flushed, right? So what's amazing about GWT is we don't flush a volume. So people who come back 3 years down the road, have a big team, they never want to stop because they have all that volume still waiting for them to get paid out on. Okay? So GWT, we never flush volume. Other question, does your comp plan have a block on the volume that can accumulate? In other words, do they put a certain level requirement of how much volume can actually accumulate? And most companies have a maximum of like $100,000 volume that can be carried over year after year. Okay, so Reza, if you imagine his $8 million, he can only maintain 100,000 of that every single year. That would again be a sucky thing. Of course, other question is there a maximum to how much volume can carry over? And some companies only allow you to maintain $100,000, a week maximum rollover, or they don't even let you to carry over your volume. Okay, well in GWT, we have infinite carryover volume. Whatever money that you don't use to get paid out this week, you carry that over for the following week till infinity. We don't ever touch your volume. So again, is there a maximum in how much commission you can make from your business center, and how much is it? So I've seen other kind of comp plans that are really tricky. It doesn't say anything about flushing. However, they have a maximum of how much you can make from your business center. Okay. And in this example, I've seen one that only allows you to make $1,000 per week per business center. I mean, if it's your first company, it would sound great. I mean, $1,000 a week. Wow, that's pretty cool. But in reality, if you knew there was other options out there, like in GWT, it's $10,000 per week. Wouldn't you choose $10,000 per week for the exact same effort than 1,000 per week? So in other words, to understand this, to make the same income in this ABC company, where you can only make $1,000 per week maximum on a business center, you have to build 9 additional legs to reach $10,000 per week. Because once you maximize your first business center, you have $1,000 per week, you have to open up a second business center to make another $1,000 a week, and a third business center to make another $1,000 per week, and a fourth business center. My point is you're constantly having to open more and more business centers in order to maximize on making 10 grand a week. So GWT, with just 2 legs, one business center, 2 legs, you can make $10,000 per week. So if you have to make the same income, if you have to build 9 additional legs, I'm sorry, it's game over time. Okay, pitfall number 6. Wow, I'm really getting fired up here in this whole training because it's really, I guess, sort of, passionate for me. I get really fired up here. But number 6 is how many legs do you have to build? Because if your compensation plan requires you to build more than 2 legs, then again, game over. Game over. Okay? Because isn't it obvious, guys? Isn't building 5 legs easier than building 10 legs? Yes. Isn't building 3 legs easier than building 5 legs? Yes. Isn't building 2 legs then easier than building 3 legs? Of course, right? Because to build 10 legs, you have to maintain momentum in 10 different legs. So the easiest one of all is 2 legs. Okay, you can't build 1 leg because that would be illegal to get paid for doing nothing because people are just putting people below you. You can get paid on that. So legally, you have to have at least 2 legs. So why build more than 2? Okay, so if your company has making you to build more than 2 legs, game over, because longevity and retention is in depth. The deeper you build your organization, the stronger it becomes. Why? Because someone joined for a while and has no one on their team, what will happen? They usually quit, right? So if you sponsor Joe and for 10 months, Joe doesn't have one person join his team, he's probably going to quit. So the deeper you build it, the more stronger it is, and the more longevity you will have. For example, if you had 10 people join you and you had to build 10 different legs, then you would want to put one person of your 10 on each of the 10 legs, right? But if you only had to build 2 legs, then you could put 5 people together on one leg and 5 people together on the other leg. So isn't it just nice to have someone join below you? I mean, when I joined, my first week, someone already joined below me. That felt great. I felt like, wow, this is actually really taking off here, right? So again, longevity and retention is in depth. Pitfall number 7, okay, is your payout on all of the legs. So it's different than number 6. Number 6 was payout on how many legs, right? Whereas pitfall number 7 is payout on all of the legs or just one of the legs. So does your compensation plan pay you on volume for all of your legs? For example, I've seen some comp plans out there, and it's shocking because most of the recent binary comp plans in the market today only pay you on what's called the pay leg or the weaker leg. Okay? If they do that, then game over. Because to me, when they tell you they're only paying you on the pay leg or the weaker leg, I have another name for it. I call it the sucker leg. Okay, you're getting paid on this leg because you're being sucked into this comp plan, not knowing that there's other things better out there. Okay, because if a company only pays you on your weakest leg, what does that mean? It means you'll never touch any of the volume on the bigger legs. So what's the point in having a bigger leg? Okay, you can't brag about people about how you had this huge leg because you don't get paid a single dime from it. Okay, so here's an example of what I mean by payout on all legs. Okay, in my example here of ABC Company, it's actually a real company out there that does this, but I can't use their name. So if ABC Company pays you 10% on the weaker leg, which is GWT that pays you 10% on both of the legs. Okay, what's going to happen here is in company ABC, there's you, and you have this big right team. Okay, it's called your power leg or your common leg. Let's say you had 100,000 volume over here, and all of a sudden you had one person who joined your left team, and they brought in 1667 worth of volume for you. Okay, in ABC Company, if they paid you 10% on the weaker leg, how much did you make? Well, 10% of the weaker leg, which is 1667, is $166.70. That is your payout for ABC Company. Whereas in GWT, we pay you 10% on both of your legs, and it's a variable plan. So what happens in GWT, same scenario, there's you. Here's your power team on the right team, and one person joins on your left team and brings you 1667 worth of volume. What happens? Well, 10% payout on both legs of 1667 on the left. It'll take 3333 from the right side because you have 100,000 volume there for a grand total of 5,000, which pays you how much, folks? 5,000 pays you $500. Question: would you rather get paid $166.70 for exactly the same effort, or would you rather get paid $500? If you choose 166, it means you're brainwashed. I'm sorry, it means that you're just a little bit too passionate about this other company, and it's not logical. Because logically, it makes sense to take the bigger paycheck, right? So that is what I mean by payout on all the legs. Now, The number 8 pitfall is payout on legs. Is it variable? Okay. What that means is there's a compensation plan requirement on your legs to be balanced. So you have to do some sort of balancing on your two legs to get paid out on this volume. In other words, does it have to be 50-50? Does it have to be a 1/3 or 2/3? Does it have to be a 2/3 or 1/3? So in other words, of the volume you're bringing in, do you have to balance the volume equally on both legs? And in the old days, it was always 50-50. Then it became like a 1/3, 2/3, or 2/3, 1/3. Well, in GWT, the grass is greener, the air is fresher. GWT is all of the above in all combinations. So GWT, you can have a left volume of 2,500 and a right volume of 2,500. So it's a 50-50 split. It could be a left 2,000, right 3,000, a left 3,000, a right 2,000. So it's variable. But at the very least, it's also 1/3, 2/3. So it could be 1667 on the left, 3333 on the right, or 3333 on the left and 167 on the right. It pays you in all combinations of the above, which is what's so incredible about our company. And again, I've seen so many other compounds out there in the world that make you do all this crazy balancing. And the reality is you never know which leg is going to be bigger. So again, a lot of these other companies, make you balance your legs, and however, in a binary system, you never know which leg will be bigger. So in our company, it doesn't matter which leg becomes bigger. We pay you out on all combinations. And moving along here, just doing one quick fix up on the slide here before we go along here. All right, and play again. So again, we just finished the slide over here. So it's a bit of a little IT going thing going on here. So there we are. So here's an example of what it can look like on a variable pay leg. So two examples here again. Company ABC pays you 10% based on a 50-50 plan versus GWT that pays you 10% on a variable plan. So scenario number one, company ABC, there's you. Here's your bigger right team again, $100,000 of volume here. You got 1667 of volume coming in on the left team. Well, in other companies, what happens, if you're lucky, is it takes 10% of 1667 left and right side, so total of 3333, and it pays you 10%. So 10% of 3333, which is 50-50 added together, right, pays you $333. Whereas in GWT, we pay you 10% payout on both of the legs combined together, but with a 1/3, 2/3 variable. So in our company, we take 1667. We don't just take another 1667 on the right side. We take 3333 from the bigger side. For a total of 5,000, it pays you 500. So again, would you want to choose a company that pays you $333 for the same effort, or would you choose $500? Okay, if you chose 333, then game over. It's a bit of a brainwashing there, right? You want to choose a higher payout, get paid more for your efforts. Pitfall number 9 is all about requalification. Do you need to maintain certain qualifications or requalify to keep your commission payout? Okay, if you have to do any kind of requalification of any kind of sort, then game over. Okay,